Hi, and welcome to Kids and Entrepreneurship. Today we're going to be talking about the biggest difference between public sector and private sector. So, here to help us today is my guest, Minesh Baxi. Hi.
Hello, Mooskaan. This is a topic which is just the best and the most favorite for me.
Okay.
And the reason it is because most people are not being taught at all. And there is so much confusion about it that it drives me literally nuts. And I want to make sure that everybody who's watching, everybody who has any potential to refer to other people, if you listen to this information, understand this information, go tell other people about it, because the lack of this knowledge is causing a lot of challenges in the country as well as around the world.
Okay.
So let's talk about a simple concept here. So Mooskaan, do you have a cell phone?
Yes.
Okay. What do you use the cell phone for?
Talking to my friends, talking to you.
Okay.
Also because I got a car. Well, I didn't get a car. I got my license.
Yes.
So if I take the car on my own,
Yes.
you can contact me. You
Correct.
can call 911.
Correct.
That's
And what
okay.
else do you use your cell phone for? What else do you use?
I like reading sometimes.
Okay.
I like reading, so like my
Surfing?
ebooks.
Okay. Internet.
I like playing Animal Crossing
Playing
specifically.
Animal Crossing. Okay.
I like that game a lot. I play it all the time.
You
So-
play it all the time. Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Now I know why I bought you a cell phone, for you to play Animal Crossing. Maybe that's
You
not
know
as
what? It's either that or you had to buy me a DS. So
Okay.
someone.
Somewhere in between. $1,000 iPhone, right? Okay. So here is my point to you. There was a time when we landed a man on the moon, right? And everybody remembers JFK's great speech. We will do that. And it happened. Now, here is the interesting fact most people may know, is that the amount of computing power which was required in all these calculations and everything done in order for us to be able to get a man to the moon, that time, whatever the computing power was available, we have multiple times, like hundreds and thousands of times more computing power in our cell phone today than we had in the whole country trying to put a man on the moon.
So
Isn't that-
theoretically, my phone could put a man on the moon.
Yes, sir. Yes, it could. Exactly. Because that much computing power is available to it. I remember from my experience, I have a bachelor's in electrical engineering, and in my last year of college, one of the courses I had was computer applications to power systems. And we had a huge big room. The computer was called IBM 360. And that whole computer was in a huge, huge room with so many people operating it. And that is a minuscule in terms of what we have today in your cell phone.
That's
So why am I
cool.
explaining that? Here is my simple point to you. Anything overall in private sector eventually reaches a point where the prices go down and the quality goes up.
Sure.
The biggest difference between public sector and private sector is innovation.
Okay.
Public sector has no incentive for innovation,
Okay.
and private sector has every reason for innovation.
Okay.
Do you know why private sector has so much reasons for innovation? Why does private sector have to innovate?
They have to innovate so people continue buying their sources.
Exactly.
They keep making money.
Exactly. See, the public sector and private sector overall have the same goal.
Sure.
It's called revenue.
Mm-hmm.
They both want more money. The public sector wants more money, which is politicians and bureaucrats. And the private sector, which are all these corporations, including small businesses, self-employed people, they want more money as well. So the biggest challenge in private sector is attracting and retaining clients. Like Blockbuster. What happened with Blockbuster?
What's Blockbuster?
You are funny. So, Blockbuster went out of business because something like Netflix came along. Because Netflix had an innovative idea of providing their customers. So Netflix captured the customers that Blockbuster had ignored to connect in the new 21st century.
Yep.
And that's why Blockbuster is no longer in business and Netflix is thriving. Now, obviously, there's the next level of innovation coming and so on and so forth.
The streaming wars.
Streaming wars are going on, right? But the point I'm trying to drive home to people who are watching is that private sector will consistently work on improving the quality of the product or service it is offering and simultaneously try to lower the price. Now, for example, You are too young to know, but there were huge big TVs that you couldn't even carry.
Yep.
And they had what you call, at the long time ago, they had tubes, which were very big tubes and all of that kind of stuff. And then the silicon and so on and so forth came. But anyway, the bottom line is, about 15 years ago, there was nothing known as a smart TV. Like nothing. Okay? Today, pretty much every TV you get is a smart TV.
Yeah, I think every TV now has to be a smart TV.
Has to be a smart TV.
It has to, because not everyone is buying a TV for cable.
Exactly. And instead of cable, what do they do?
Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Disney Plus.
Yes, they are unplugging, so to speak. What is it called? Cord cutting?
I think cord cutting, unplugging, both are relative terms.
Okay.
I don't know if there's a set term. I think cord cutting is more set, but anyways.
Thanks for reminding me that. So now there are more and more TVs available, which are smart TVs.
Yep.
But also the resolution. I remember the resolution was so terrible compared to where we are today. And then we don't even have a 4K TV right now, right? Because we don't spend so much time on TV. But the bottom line is 4K TV, and now there is an 8K TV coming.
There's an 8K TV?
Yes, 8K TVs are around already. And they have UHD and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is the TV prices have remained almost the same.
Yeah.
And the quality has jumped through the roof. Same thing with laptops. Same thing with tablets. Same thing with cell phones. iPhone 11 is better than iPhone 7 and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But the price of iPhone 11 is almost the same, maybe less, comparatively speaking, to iPhone 7 when it was released at that time. And
I think it's a little bit more.
Is it? So you might know more about
iPhone
that.
7 was about 700 when it came out.
So iPhone
11 is about 1,000.
Okay.
But if you want to use a better comparison, iPhone 10 was about the same price as iPhone 11.
Okay. So there you are. So you have more innovation taking place. Because here is the problem. The private sector is always scared that somebody is going to steal my customer.
Sure.
So the moment Apple comes up with face recognition, Samsung has to come up with face recognition, because otherwise Samsung is scared it will lose the customer.
Yeah.
So when you have that insecurity of missing
Losing
out on the customer,
Yeah.
revenue and everything else, and not being able to stay in business, you're always going to focus on better product, better service, better price.
Yeah.
Better product, better service, better price, better experience.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, in public sector, they are guaranteed the consumer,
Yeah.
because you have to pay taxes. When you have
Can't
a car,
go somewhere else and get better taxes.
we'll talk about that in a minute, because that's an important concept. But let's just talk about the DMV. You go to the Division of Motor Vehicles, you are treated in a terrible manner. Just a terrible manner. You see people, 50, 60 people in a line waiting. Because what? Public sector doesn't care. You have to go to get your registration plate. You have to go to get a picture for your license. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a choice, the public sector has too much security.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry
They get
whether the customer
cocky.
is going away or not.
Yeah.
And you remember the day you got your license? Do you remember that?
It was forever. I think we got there before it opened. There's a line outside the door, actually. They open at 9. We got there 8:45. I was already in a huge line, at least 20, 30 people in front of me. I think I was actually 30. And then you go, you get your ticket, and then again, we got there 8:45. I don't think I went up to actually, with my papers and stuff, get my picture until around 10:30. And actually, my aunt had called, and she had asked us to open the restaurant at 11. And my mom was like, "We're not getting out of here in time," even though we're literally down the street from the restaurant. We're like, "We cannot get there at 11. We are stuck here. We're not leaving."
Exactly. And that's what happens. Why? Because the DMV knows you have nowhere else to go. The public sector always has monopoly.
Yep.
And because private sector does not have a guaranteed customer base for life, private sector is always working hard to earn your business.
Yeah.
Whereas the public sector has no reason to work hard for your business, because they are guaranteed business.
Yeah.
So guess what happens? The quality of product will always go down. The price will always go up. Show me a time when the registration plate price did not increase the next year, right? It
I
keeps
do not know.
increasing. right? The taxes don't go down normally. They keep going up as well because the public sector is guaranteed money.
Yeah.
The moment public sector is guaranteed money, they stop innovation. And let me give you a great example. We homeschool. What do you think are the reasons I homeschool? Give me some of the ones that you actually come to the top of your mind.
The biggest one is travel. We
Okay.
travel a lot. We definitely don't want to have to ask a teacher if we can have this week off, that week off.
Very good
so
reason.
it's very easy because especially we'd be gone for like 4 months.
Correct.
Obviously, the school's not going to let you do that. Another thing is just there are specific things I wanted to learn for my career path that maybe didn't fit with the standards of a public school. Maybe my career path didn't involve me taking calculus, so we had decided homeschooling was the best option so I can create my own path. I can learn exactly what I need to learn. I don't need to spend my time stressing about grades and stuff for things I'm not going to use in my career.
Exactly. So here is the problem. The country, the culture, the society, US, India, and other countries as well, are forgetting the most important part about education overall.
Sure.
The function of education is to provide you marketable skills so that you can get the results that your employer wants you to have. Now, I'm not talking about studying history to learn history. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking of education because everybody has to find a way to make a living, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about the career path-wise, income-wise. So we all should remember that the goal of education should be to help you create the skills that have actual value in the marketplace, and you are somebody that an employer can count on getting results. Now, unfortunately, the school and college system has almost no relationship to it other than 10% of the courses which are being taught. Now, if you are going to be a doctor, if you're going to be very specifically qualified, then you're obviously going to have to go through a very rigorous system that somebody has put together.
Yeah, but that's your choice.
That's
what you're doing. If you know that you want to be a lawyer, that's why you're going to school for being a lawyer. You're not going to say, I want to be a doctor and then go to law school. That's not how it works.
Exactly. Thank you for pointing that out. And all we want to do is make sure. So here is what it is. You and I know education in schools and colleges has become more expensive than it was before. And people are coming out with less marketable skills than before. How do I know it? Maybe you don't know this, but I have a book called Stop Hiring Losers. So my clients are small businesses who are looking for qualified candidates to be hired. And some of them have a struggling time to find good quality people, even if they're not looking for very high level of skills. Why? Because our schools and colleges are totally failing to develop the skills required in a marketplace that an employer needs.
Yeah.
So let me explain a little bit more about that, because I think some people may not understand the details to which you really need to understand the scope of it. Now, let me ask you, if you need to know anything today, how difficult it is for you to know the information?
Not hard at all.
Okay.
You can go to YouTube, Google. There's a really good chance someone's written an article about what you need, or someone's made a tutorial or a video, or there's a chance you can go on LinkedIn and connect with someone who knows what you want. It's not that hard if you know what you're looking for.
Exactly. So if you're looking for information,
Yeah,
any information, how to bake a cake, can you find the information?
of course.
How to cut a pineapple the right way, you can find the information?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything and everything you and I need to know about today is freely available. Have
Yep.
you heard of Khan Academy?
Of course.
What is it about?
It's I believe it's for math.
Well,
only.
now they have for everything.
Yeah, they have more now. But when I was doing Khan Academy, it was specifically more math, or what I was learning was math. So it's just free videos on YouTube teaching you how to do different division, how to divide fractions, like everything you would need. They have calculus, I believe, algebra, even just addition, the basics of math, all the way up to, I think, is calculus the hardest?
Yeah,
I don't
calculus is possibly the hardest, but
But
so
yeah,
they have
they have
everything,
very hard.
trigonometry and everything else available on
those.
Khan Academy. And Khan Academy, for those who don't know, there are a number of ways to get it. But one of the ways that we have been able to use was YouTube videos, which are totally free.
Yeah.
So if information is so easily, freely available, Why are these students going to schools and colleges paying thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars? Here is the reason. People think the ticket to success and a job is a diploma and a degree.
Yep.
Let me repeat it. People think, students and parents think, that the ticket to success and a job is a diploma or a degree. No. The ticket to a success in life, in business, in career is marketable skills with an ability to get the desired results.
Sure.
Unfortunately, degree and diplomas are not enough. They're not preparing you for that.
Not enough experience.
Yep. Not enough practical worldwide experience that you need. So here is the problem. Education falls in the public sector. Why do I say public sector? Because it is more controlled by the government. Public education, for example, pretty much most people have a school in their backyard. Universities, most of them have public money coming in their hands as well, and they are guaranteed to have customer base. When you are kind of guaranteed to have customer base, how much is your commitment to competition and innovation?
Zero.
You're guaranteed. So there is no innovation.
Yep.
So if the education system was just like the computers, was just like the smartphone, was just like the TV, guess what? You would be able to get a degree at a very cheap price, and you could be getting it from sitting in your home most of the time, attending a few maybe boot camps, attending a certain workshops and stuff like that, in person possibly, and be able to master the information and be ready for the job. Much faster than taking 4 years, going somewhere, spending thousands and thousands of dollars, 4 years of your life in learning things which some of the people who come out don't even want that job.
Yeah. Sometimes people change their mind like mid school year. They're like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore.
Exactly.
And what do you do now?
Exactly. In my case, I was a computer programmer.
Yeah.
Okay. 12 years of my life doing things that I didn't really enjoy. Had I been more able to marketable skills in terms of using them, learning from it, and then finding out what I really enjoy, I would have been on that path much faster than that. So again, let's go back to the fundamental of public sector and private sector. Private sector has to work hard to find their client, earn their business, and retain them, which is why they're always on innovation.
Sure.
They're always providing us a better product, better service, and better price. Public sector is guaranteed clients, is guaranteed revenue. So their desire, their incentive to create innovation is almost not there.
Yeah.
So if you want wonderful things to happen, and let me give you one example before we wrap up here. Some people may not know who Boris Yeltsin was, but he was the prime minister, I think, prime minister of USSR, okay, Russia. And he came to US for, I think, Camp David with Ronald Reagan is what I remember. And I wasn't here in this country either, but I have read about it. Yeah. And he needed something, so he went to the supermarket. And he almost fell off looking at the choices available to the average consumer in US that even the elite in USSR didn't have access to. Because innovation is what we have.
Yeah.
Whereas Russia, being a monopolistic, public sector, communist country, had no innovation.
Yeah.
And it was a matter of time before Russia was going to fold, because when innovation is not there, eventually they run out of money, they run out of resources, they run out of all the ideas of how to help each other. Sure. Whereas US, being the best example of free speech and free enterprise, had the thriving private sector creating more opportunities, more situations where people had more and more choices.
Yeah.
So the bottom line for all people to know is, if you want more choices, private sector is where you will find choices and you will find innovation. So hopefully that was interesting enough for you. Is there any comment you want to add before we end?
I think you said it the best.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. Have
Bye-bye.
a nice day.